Hey everyone, it's Matt aka Tech Ranger, and today I want to talk about the Terran Armada DLC for Starfield, specifically what it is, what the gameplay loop is, and at the end I'm going to give my thoughts on the Terran Armada DLC, and then hopefully you can figure out whether it's good enough for you or if you might want to skip it. So Terran Armada is the second DLC for Starfield. It's $10 if you buy it straight up, but if you have the premium edition of the game, it's actually included in that now. If you do have the premium edition of the game, odds are it's probably not going to install itself for you, so you do need to go and find the Terran Armada DLC in your games and apps. If you're on Xbox, make sure it's installed. To get started with the quest, you just need to listen to the broadcast from the Settled System News Network kiosks that are kind of around the game. I think the most common way is to check out the one over by Aquila City. At least that's how I started it. You'll find out pretty quick that the Terran Armada is a faction in the game that doesn't really agree with the way the Settled Systems are being run and want to take over with the help of their robot army. And they'll do pretty much whatever it takes. If that sounds familiar and you have played Watchtower, you're not wrong. But we'll get into the differences in the gameplay section. So along with the other factions that you've met in the game, you have to band together and actually take these guys out. You'll find yourself a new companion, as well as some new spacesuits and weapons, some new ship parts, and a repeatable game mechanic. In this DLC, the main mechanic is attacking a larger ship that's actually escorted by smaller Terran Armada ships. You board the ship, find a black box, and then blow up the ship in the process. Those are the major incursions, which are kind of used to propel the story of Terran Armada forward, and there's an option to kind of keep those going after you beat it. Minor incursions usually exist with like Terran patrols and are not really necessary for the main story. It's kind of similar to the way Watchtower worked. If you played that mod, you had the minor and then major relays. The minor incursions can actually be like patrols in space, on a planet, or drop pods on a planet. I also had one where you could actually board a ship, but it was pretty simple and there wasn't really any combat. With Watchtower, the minor relays were just a way to make the major ones weaker, whereas with Terran Armada, you're actually boarding the ships at these major incursions. There's a few different variants that could get repetitive if you end up doing a bunch in a row. If you want to enforce the incursions, you could probably put the increased chance on and then wait 24 to 72 hours in game. There is another incursion on a landing pad, but I actually haven't seen that one yet. When the Terran Armada shows up, they kind of keep you from doing things like within a system, so whether it's a minor or a major, you kind of need to deal with it. To move the story along though, you have to focus on the major incursions, and you have to do at least 3 of those for the next story mission. Make sure you're looking around on these ships as well. There's a lot of loot, but that is going to come with a lot of combat, so it's recommended that you be about level 50 plus to actually start Terran Armada. It can be tough, but at that level I would assume that you're pretty decked out as far as equipment goes. If you are having a tough time with some of these, you can tune all the modifiers as well as just the general difficulty in the game and the incursion chances. When doing a major incursion, you basically need to travel to a system and then use the cruise mode in order to actually get to where you need to go. To help you out with all of this, you do have a robot companion yourself named Delta. Delta effectively follows you around for the duration of the Terran Armada campaign and then can become your companion after the campaign. Reminds me a lot of Legion from Mass Effect if you played that. There's even a cool side quest with Delta as well that has to do with a certain moon landing. Anchor Point, which was actually introduced in the Freelanes update, is a little bit of a base of operations for you over the course of the campaign and the incursions. You end up learning a little bit more about Terran Armada, what they're trying to do, and the new X tech that was introduced with Freelanes. Outside of finding more of it, it does factor into the story. This can be kind of a one and done DLC, or you can kind of keep it going like I alluded to earlier in the video. But that is pretty much the main loop of the gameplay in this DLC, so let's talk about my thoughts and who this is really for. I think Terran Armada can be easy to recommend, but you have to ask yourself a few things first. The first one being, do you like Starfield? And a follow-up question to that, do you want more of it? So if you like the game, you wanted a little bit more Starfield, you came back with the Freelanes update, there's some new quests, new things to do. Because of that, you might not want more after that. You might be just like, okay, I'm good. Then Terran Armada is probably not for you. If you're looking for more of a story-driven experience, this is probably also not for you. But past that, if you want kind of a new encounter system with the incursions, a reliable way to get a lot of X-Tech, which you can actually manufacture yourself with some of the side missions with the outposts, want some new spacesuits, weapons, ship modules without having to download other mods, then I think that this would be a pretty easy recommendation. It's a low barrier of entry with the price point, even less so if you don't have to pay for it. As much as I like Watchtower, I think if you don't really engage with the ship combat as much in this game, this DLC does offer a mix of combat in space, but then also like on the ground and on ships. My time with the DLC was about 10-ish hours, just doing kind of the main story, and I did like 3 extra major incursions. Delta is really cool. I like the new spacesuits as well as some of the new weapons, and you can really trick them out with the new X-Tech system in the game. It's hard to really give this a rating though, just because of the price point. Maybe if this was like double the price and they didn't end up bundling it in with the premium edition, it wouldn't be a good value. But if what I've shown and talked about here kind of appeals to you, then I think it's more than worth a couple of iced lattes. There's a lot of paid mods that are like quest mods and things like that you could totally get instead. For $10, if you like the idea of managing your own fleet, being able to call down like kill streaks essentially, and you like a lot of the space combat in the game, then Watchtower might be more your speed. Maybe you just want like new spacesuits, couple new weapons, then Trackers Alliance might be more up your alley. That's a bit cheaper now and includes more quests than it did initially with the Vulture. And that is going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions about the Terran Armada DLC itself, let me know in the comments, and if you played it already, let me know what you think. That is going to do it for me. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.